the Golden Owl Podcast.
Speak better, fly higher.
Mic test, 1, 2, 3.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Maya.
And I'm Daniel. Hello, everyone. Before we start, if you enjoy learning English with us, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps us a lot.
Yes, thank you. Today we have a really interesting topic, and honestly, a very personal one for me.
Same. Very personal. I actually have a coffee right here next to me.
Of course you do.
I mean, can you even start a conversation without coffee? I don't think so.
I can. I had an orange this morning and I feel completely fine.
An orange. You had an orange. Wow. That is very healthy of you.
Thank you. I try.
I had 2 espressos and a dream. So we are very different people.
We really are. But that is actually why this topic is so good, because we see coffee in a very different way. And today we are asking one simple question. Is coffee actually good for you, or should you stop drinking it?
And the answer is complicated.
Very complicated, but also really interesting. So let's get into it.
Okay, so first things first. Let's talk about what coffee actually is, because I think a lot of people just drink it every day and never really think about it.
Right, it is just there. It is part of the morning, you wake up, you make coffee. You don't ask questions.
Exactly. But coffee is actually a drink made from roasted seeds. We call them coffee beans, but they are technically seeds.
That always sounds strange to me. Seeds.
It is true, though. They come from a plant called coffea, and this plant grows in warm countries, places like Brazil, Colombia, Ethiopia, Vietnam.
Ethiopia. That is actually where coffee comes from originally, right?
Yes, there's an old story about a man named Kaldi. He was a farmer a long time ago in Ethiopia, and he noticed that his goats were very energetic after eating some red berries from a certain plant.
His goats were energetic?
Very energetic, like not sleeping at night, running around, and he thought, okay, what is happening here?
So goats discovered coffee? That is the story. Goats.
Amazing, I love that. Okay, so the goats found the plant, and then what happened?
Well, people started making drinks from the berries, and slowly, over hundreds of years, it became what we know today. Coffee spread from Ethiopia to the Middle East, then to Europe, and then to the whole world.
And today, it's one of the most popular drinks on the planet. I read that people drink around 2 billion cups of coffee every day.
2 billion. Every single day.
Every day. So clearly, people really like it.
Or they really need it.
Both. Probably both.
Okay, so here's the big question. Why do we need it? What does coffee actually do to our body?
Right, and this is where it gets interesting. Because coffee contains something called caffeine, and caffeine is the reason you feel more awake after drinking coffee.
Yes, caffeine is a natural substance. It is found in coffee, but also in tea, in chocolate, in some energy drinks.
And what it does is actually quite clever. So normally, when you're awake for a long time, your brain builds up a chemical that makes you feel tired. It's like a signal that says, hey, time to sleep.
Okay.
And caffeine basically blocks that signal. It sits in the same place in your brain and says, nope, not yet, we're not tired.
So it does not give you energy, it just hides the tiredness.
Exactly. It's like, you know when you have a mess in your room and someone is coming, so you just put everything in the closet?
Oh yes, I know that very well.
The mess is still there, but you can't see it. That's what caffeine does with tiredness.
That's actually a great way to explain it. Okay, so the tiredness is still there, hiding in the closet.
It comes back later, usually in the afternoon. People call it a caffeine crash.
Yes, I know that feeling. You feel great in the morning, and then around 3 o'clock, you just want to lie down on the floor.
The floor is very comfortable at 3 o'clock.
It really is.
Okay, so let's talk about the good things first, because coffee does have some real benefits, actual health benefits.
Yes, and I think people are sometimes surprised by this, because coffee has a bit of a bad reputation.
It does. People say, oh, coffee is bad for you, stop drinking so much. But actually, science says something more interesting.
So what are the good things?
Okay, first one. Coffee has a lot of antioxidants.
Antioxidants. That's actually a word worth explaining. So, antioxidants are substances that help protect your body from damage. Your body is constantly fighting small things that can hurt your cells, and antioxidants help with that fight.
And coffee has a lot of them. Actually, for many people in Western countries, coffee is the biggest source of antioxidants in their diet.
Really? More than fruits and vegetables?
For some people, yes, which is maybe not the best sign about their diet, but still, the coffee is doing some work.
Okay, what else?
Focus and concentration. Most people already know this one. After a coffee, you feel more alert, more focused, you can work better, think faster.
Yes, I actually notice this when I drink coffee before studying. I can concentrate for longer.
Wait, you do drink coffee sometimes?
I said sometimes before studying. It's different.
Ah, so the orange was just for show this morning.
The orange was genuine. I'm a genuine orange person, but yes, occasionally coffee happens.
Coffee happens, I like that. Okay, another benefit. Some studies suggest that coffee can help with physical performance, like before you exercise.
Really? How?
Well, caffeine tells your body to use fat as energy, so you can work out a little harder, a little longer. That is why some athletes drink coffee before training.
That is actually interesting. I study sports science, so this is relevant for me.
Right? And also, some research shows that people who drink coffee regularly have a lower risk of certain serious illnesses. Things like type 2 diabetes, some liver conditions, and even some problems with the brain that come with old age.
That sounds very positive.
It does, but, and this is important, these are connections that scientists found. It does not mean coffee is the reason. It is complicated.
Right, because maybe people who drink coffee also have other healthy habits. Or maybe there is something else going on.
Exactly. Science is tricky like that.
It really is.
Okay, so we talked about the good stuff, but let's be honest, coffee is not perfect.
No, definitely not.
There are some real downsides, and I say this as someone who loves coffee deeply and personally.
How many cups did you have today?
That's not relevant to this conversation.
It is a little relevant.
Moving on. So, one of the most common problems with coffee is sleep. Caffeine stays in your body for a long time, like much longer than people think.
How long?
So the half-life of caffeine is around 5 to 6 hours. Half-life means the time it takes for half of the caffeine to leave your body. So if you drink a coffee at 4 in the afternoon, at 10 at night, you still have half of that caffeine inside you.
That is actually quite scary.
Right? So many people say, oh, coffee doesn't affect my sleep, but maybe it does and they just don't realize it. Maybe their sleep is lighter. Maybe they don't go into deep sleep as easily.
I know people like that. They drink coffee at 8 in the evening and say, I sleep perfectly fine.
And maybe they believe it, but the science says otherwise.
So what is a good time to stop drinking coffee during the day?
Most experts say around early afternoon, like after 2 or 3 in the morning. Try not to drink it, especially if you go to bed at a normal time.
That is actually useful advice.
I know, I just choose not to follow it personally.
Very consistent of you.
Thank you, I try to be consistent.
Okay, what else is bad about coffee?
Anxiety. This is a big one. Caffeine makes your body more alert, right? But for some people, too much of that alertness feels like anxiety. Your heart beats faster, you feel nervous, your hands might shake a little.
Yes, I have experienced this. I once had a very strong coffee on an empty stomach and I felt like I was running from something, but I was just sitting at my desk.
That's a very relatable experience.
It was not enjoyable.
No. And the thing is, everyone has a different tolerance for caffeine. Some people can drink 4 cups and feel completely fine. Other people have 1 cup and their heart is racing.
And this is actually connected to genetics. Your genes, the instructions inside your body that make you who you are, they affect how quickly you process caffeine.
Exactly. Some people have a gene that makes them break down caffeine very fast, so it doesn't stay in their body long and they don't feel much effect.
And other people break it down slowly, so even a small amount of caffeine has a strong effect and lasts a long time.
So 2 people can drink the same coffee and have completely different experiences. One person feels great. The other person feels like they're about to give a speech in front of 10,000 people.
That is quite a specific example.
I've been there.
You gave a speech in front of 10,000 people?
No, I had a strong coffee. Same feeling though.
Okay, what about addiction? Because I think a lot of people talk about being addicted to coffee.
Yes, and this is real. Caffeine is a substance that your body gets used to over time. So if you drink coffee every day, your brain starts to expect it. It adjusts. And when you don't get your coffee, you feel bad.
How bad?
Headaches, tiredness, difficulty concentrating, bad mood. Some people feel really awful for a day or two.
So it's a real withdrawal, like your body is actually missing something.
It is. Now, it's not the same as more serious addictions, it's much milder, but it's still a form of dependence. Your body needs it to feel normal.
I think a lot of people do not realize this. They think, oh, I just like coffee, but actually, their body requires it every morning.
Right, and you can tell the difference. If you miss your coffee and you just feel a little disappointed, that's preference. But if you miss your coffee and you get a headache and you can't focus for the whole day, that's dependence.
That's actually a good way to check.
It is, and the good news is, if you want to stop, you can. It just takes a few days of feeling a bit rubbish, and then your body adjusts.
Okay, any other downsides?
A couple more. Coffee can affect your stomach. Some people get stomach pain or they feel sick, especially when they drink coffee on an empty stomach.
Yes, black coffee on an empty stomach is very aggressive.
Very. It's quite acidic, and it also makes your stomach produce more acid. So if you already have a sensitive stomach, coffee can make things worse.
I always eat something before my coffee, even if it's just a small snack.
That actually helps a lot. If you eat something first, the coffee hits your stomach differently. It's less harsh.
Good tip for people listening.
Also, coffee makes your heart beat a little faster. For most healthy people, this is totally fine. But for people who already have heart issues or blood pressure problems, too much coffee can be a risk.
So again, it really depends on the person.
Everything depends on the person. That is kind of the whole story with coffee.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting because we have all these benefits on one side and all these risks on the other. And the truth is, the answer to the question, is coffee healthy, is genuinely different for different people.
Right. And I think this is actually the most honest thing we can say. There is no one answer.
So let us break it down a little. Who is coffee probably good for?
Okay, if you are a healthy adult, no serious heart problems, no anxiety issues, no stomach problems, and you sleep well, then moderate coffee consumption, so maybe 2 to 4 cups a day, is probably fine and might even have some health benefits.
And moderate is the key word there. 2 to 4 cups is not the same as 8 cups.
Correct. 8 cups is a different conversation.
How many cups do you drink a day?
We are not doing that again.
I'm just asking.
Moving on. So for healthy adults, a few cups a day is generally considered safe and might be beneficial. Studies show lower risk of certain conditions, better focus, better physical performance.
But then there are groups of people who probably should be more careful.
Yes, pregnant people, for example. During pregnancy, it's generally recommended to reduce caffeine significantly because caffeine passes to the baby, and the baby cannot process it well.
That's important to know.
Also, people who have anxiety problems. If you already feel anxious, caffeine can make it worse, a lot worse sometimes.
And people with sleep problems. If you're already struggling to sleep, coffee is probably not helping, even if you think it's not affecting your sleep.
Right, and young people, teenagers and children should really be careful with caffeine. Their brains are still developing, and caffeine affects them differently than adults.
So the age matters too.
Everything matters. The amount you drink, when you drink it, your age, your health, your genetics, whether you eat before drinking it, whether you add lots of sugar and cream to it.
Oh yes, because a black coffee and a large sweet coffee drink with cream and flavored syrup and whipped cream on top are very different things.
Very different. The second one is basically a dessert.
A very delicious dessert.
I'm not judging. I enjoy a fancy coffee sometimes. But from a health perspective, the sugar and the fat in those drinks can be a real problem if you have them every day.
So when people say coffee is healthy, they usually mean plain coffee, black coffee, or coffee with a small amount of milk.
Exactly. Not the ones with the 12 pumps of syrup.
12 pumps. That's a lot of pumps.
It is. Too many pumps.
Okay, so what about the mental side? Because I think sometimes people use coffee as a way to deal with tiredness that's actually coming from something else, like they're not sleeping enough or they're stressed, and coffee becomes a way to push through.
That's a really good point, and it's something I think about sometimes. Like, are you using coffee because you enjoy enjoy it, or are you using it because you cannot function without it?
Because if you need 4 coffees just to feel like a normal human being, maybe the problem is not a lack of coffee.
Maybe the problem is sleep or stress or diet, and the coffee is just a way to hide that problem.
Like putting everything in the closet.
Exactly. Back to the closet of problems.
We all have one.
We really do.
So the question isn't just, is coffee healthy? The question is also, why are you drinking it, and how much, and when, and what kind?
Right. Context matters so much. The same cup of coffee can be a healthy, enjoyable part of your day, or it can be a sign that something else in your life needs attention.
That's actually quite deep for a conversation about coffee.
Coffee makes me philosophical.
Clearly.
So let's try to land somewhere, because we've been going back and forth, and I think people listening want some kind of answer.
Okay, so our honest answer is this. Coffee is not simply good or bad. It really depends.
If you're healthy, if you drink it in a reasonable amount, if you don't drink it too late in the day, and if you listen to how your body feels, then coffee is probably fine. And there are even some benefits.
But if you have certain health conditions, if you're drinking too much, if it's making you anxious or ruining your sleep, then maybe it's worth looking at your relationship with coffee.
And by relationship, I mean a real one. Like, sit down and think about it. Do I feel better or worse because of coffee? Is my sleep okay? Do I get headaches when I skip it?
Those are good questions to ask yourself.
And the answer will be different for every person listening right now.
Which is honestly the most interesting thing about this whole topic. We're all different. Our bodies are different. And what works for one person doesn't automatically work for another.
So the answer to the question, should you stop drinking coffee, is maybe. It depends on you specifically.
Not the most satisfying answer.
No, but it's the honest one.
And I think that's more useful than just saying yes or no.
Absolutely. Pay attention to your body. That's always the best advice.
Always.
So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you learned something new, please share this episode with a friend who's learning English. It really helps us grow.
And if you're going to make a coffee after this episode, enjoy it.
Within reason.
Within reason. See you next time.